Every morning is a blank canvas, and the way we begin our day determines how it unfolds. Too often we wake up burdened by yesterday's worries or anxious about the challenges ahead. But what if we could step into each day with unshakable confidence, knowing that victory is already ours? Today, I invite you to shift your perspective from hoping for a breakthrough to knowing that it is already done. This is not wishful thinking, it is the divine law at work. When you let God lead your day, you align yourself with His power, allowing His wisdom, peace, and strength to guide every step you take. This morning prayer is not about pleading or striving. It is about recognizing that within you lies the key to every victory. As we embrace this truth, we walk into our day not as victims of circumstances, but as creators of our reality. Firm in faith, filled with gratitude, and assured that every battle is already won. Everything you experience in life is first conceived in the mind. Before anything appears in the physical world, it is first shaped in the unseen realm of thought and imagination. Every great achievement, every breakthrough, every moment of victory begins as an inner vision, long before it manifests in tangible form. The world around you is nothing more than a reflection of what you have persistently imagined and accepted as true. Your imagination is not mere fantasy or idle daydreaming. It is the creative force through which all things come into being. Every morning as you wake up, you stand at the threshold of infinite possibility. What you choose to entertain in your mind, the pictures you allow to dominate your inner world, will soon become the reality you walk into. The thoughts you habitually dwell upon crystallize into experiences, shaping your destiny in ways seen and unseen. Many believe that life happens to them, that circumstances dictate their fate. But the truth is, life responds to the images you hold within. When you imagine yourself burdened by struggle, when you accept lack, limitation, and failure as inevitable, you unknowingly set these conditions into motion. But when you deliberately and persistently imagine yourself as victorious, blessed, and divinely guided, the universe bends to align with that vision. Every battle you face, every challenge before you must first be won in the mind. If you see yourself as defeated, no amount of external effort can change the course of your life. But if you see yourself as more than a conqueror, as one whose path is cleared by divine favor, you step into the day with an invisible authority that shapes reality itself. Imagination is not a passive tool. It is the power of creation, the silent architect of your destiny. Even in moments of struggle, when the outer world seems to contradict your inner vision, your imagination remains the key to transformation. The mistake most people make is allowing their senses to dictate what they believe, rather than using their imagination to reshape what they see. When you close your eyes and see yourself walking in divine favor, when you hold firm to the inner picture of victory, regardless of what circumstances suggest, you activate a law greater than anything in the physical world. The mind, when left to drift aimlessly, will often gravitate toward doubt, fear, and limitation. But when directed with purpose, when filled with the images of success, joy, and fulfillment, it becomes the divine vessel through which God's power flows. Every prayer, every desire must be first impressed upon the imagination with unwavering certainty. For what you continually impress upon your inner world must, by law, find expression in your external world. To transform your life, you must first transform your inner state. Every desire you hold, every prayer you utter, is not meant to remain a distant hope. It is meant to be realized. But the secret to bringing it into being lies not in effort or struggle, but in assumption. You must assume with absolute conviction that what you seek is already yours. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is the bridge between the unseen and the seen, between longing and fulfillment, between asking and receiving. Most people approach life from a state of waiting. They pray for blessings but continue to feel lack. They long for healing yet continue to dwell in sickness. They desire success but remain emotionally tied to failure. This is why their desires remain unfulfilled, because they have not stepped into the consciousness of already having. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you are conscious of being. If you want to be victorious, you must feel victorious now. If you desire love, you must embody the feeling of being deeply loved before it manifests outwardly. Feelings are the creative force of your reality. Every emotion you consistently dwell in shapes the experiences that unfold before you. If you wake up and assume the feeling of struggle, your day will reflect it. If you rise with the assumption that doors will open, that favor will follow you, that every obstacle will dissolve before you, life has no choice but to mirror that belief. This is not positive thinking, it is the spiritual law at work. Your world is a reflection of your inner state, and by assuming the feeling of your wish already being fulfilled, you shift your reality at its core. It is not enough to simply say that you believe. True belief is not in words, it is in feeling. A man may claim to have faith, yet if he still feels doubt, his true faith is in failure, not in success. You must move beyond mere statements and step into the embodiment of the reality you wish to experience. If you seek financial abundance, do not dwell in the feelings of lack. Assume the feeling of wealth, of security, of having more than enough. If you desire peace, do not entertain the emotions of worry and restlessness. Assume the feeling of calm, of serenity, of being divinely guided at every moment. The mind, when left unchecked, will often fall into the habit of questioning, of doubting, of seeking evidence before belief. But this is backward thinking. You do not wait for evidence to feel a certain way. You feel the truth of your desire first, and then the evidence appears. This is why assumption is so powerful. It bypasses the need for external validation and places you directly in alignment with the life you wish to create. The moment you fully accept the feeling of your wish being fulfilled, reality begins to shift in ways beyond your understanding. Every moment is an opportunity to step into this assumption. Each time you catch yourself worrying about how things will unfold, remind yourself that the work is already done. When fear arises, replace it with the feeling of already possessing what you seek. Let every thought, every action, every breath be a testament to the truth that your desires are already yours. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is not just a practice. It is the key that unlocks the door to everything you seek. The secret to manifesting anything in life lies in your ability to live from the end, to mentally dwell in the reality of your desire as if it were already accomplished. Most people live in a state of waiting for circumstances to change, waiting for opportunities to arise, waiting for signs that their prayers have been answered. But waiting only reinforces separation from what is desired. The key is not to wait, but to assume the position of one who already possesses what they seek. To live from the end means to think, feel, and act as if your desire is already realized. It is not about pretending or deceiving yourself. It is about aligning your consciousness with the reality you wish to experience. If you desire success, you must not see yourself as someone striving toward it, but as someone who already embodies it. If you seek healing, you must not see yourself as someone trying to be healed, but as someone who is already whole and restored. If you long for love, you must not see yourself as lonely, but as one who is deeply cherished and fulfilled. Your subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It simply accepts what you consistently impress upon it. When you persist in living from the end, your mind accepts this new reality as truth, and the external world shifts to reflect it. Life does not respond to your wishes, it responds to your state of being. If you remain in a state of longing, you reinforce lack. But if you assume the state of already having, you bring forth its manifestation. Many struggle with this concept because their senses contradict their desires. They look around and see lack, struggle, or delay, and they allow these appearances to dictate their beliefs. But to truly live from the end, you must disregard the evidence of the senses and hold firm to the inner vision. The outer world is only a reflection of past beliefs. It holds no power over what is to come. By shifting your consciousness, by dwelling in the certainty of fulfillment, you override old patterns and set a new reality into motion. This is not about wishful thinking, it is about conviction. When you wake up in the morning, do not see yourself as someone who is trying to become what they desire. Instead, see yourself as already being it. Let your thoughts, emotions, and actions stem from this assumption. If you are praying for financial abundance, do not pray as someone in need. Pray as someone who already lives in abundance. If you are praying for peace, do not seek it as if it is missing. Embody the calm assurance that peace is already yours. Every great transformation begins in the mind. Those who achieve success, healing, and breakthroughs do so not because they wait for external change, but because they first make the shift within. When you live from the end, you collapse the distance between desire and fulfillment. You remove the struggle, the doubt, and the hesitation, and you step directly into the reality you have claimed. The moment you stop looking at your desire as something in the future and begin living as if it is already done, the unseen forces of the universe move to make it so. Faith is the unseen force that transforms thought into reality, the bridge that connects the invisible. It is not mere belief in possibility, it is absolute knowing. Faith does not waver, nor does it beg for signs. It moves with the quiet confidence that what is unseen is just as real as what is seen. Every great achievement, every answered prayer, every miraculous transformation in life is born out of faith. Without it, the mind drifts aimlessly between doubt and uncertainty. But with it, the impossible becomes inevitable. Most people live according to what their physical senses dictate. They look at their bank accounts and decide whether they are wealthy. They examine their health reports to determine whether they are healed. They assess their circumstances before allowing themselves to feel peace, joy, or success. But faith does not operate within the limitations of the senses. Faith declares a thing as real before there is any physical evidence. It stands firm, unwavering in the knowing that what is believed will come to pass. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. It is not passive, it is an active force that reshapes reality itself. When you stand in faith, you are not merely waiting for something to happen. You are aligning with the truth that it is already done. Faith moves beyond wishful thinking and steps into absolute conviction. It does not concern itself with how or when. It simply knows that what has been conceived in the mind must come to pass. Doubt, on the other hand, is the great destroyer of dreams. It creeps in through the cracks of uncertainty, whispering that what you desire is too big, too distant, too unlikely. Doubt causes you to waver, to hesitate, to look at your circumstances instead of standing firm in your belief. And the moment you entertain doubt, you weaken the very bridge that connects you to your manifestation. This is why faith must be unwavering. It must be a solid foundation, unshaken by the shifting tides of external reality. There is no force more powerful than faith because it operates beyond logic, beyond reason, beyond the limitations of the material world. When you move in faith, you are not relying on human ability alone. You are tapping into divine law, into the infinite intelligence that governs all creation. Faith does not ask for proof, it becomes the proof. It does not question whether something is possible. It knows that all things are possible. To walk in faith is to step beyond fear, beyond lack, beyond limitation. It is to see yourself victorious before the battle is won, to feel abundance before it has physically arrived, to declare healing before the symptoms have disappeared. Faith is not about waiting for reality to change. It is about knowing that it has already changed in the unseen and that the visible world must eventually align. D-Duck. The greatest mistake people make is believing that faith is only necessary in moments of struggle or crisis. But faith must be a daily practice, a way of being. Every morning you must rise with the certainty that all things are working in your favor. Every step you take must be infused with the quiet assurance that you are divinely guided. Every challenge must be met with the unshakable knowing that there is no obstacle too great, no problem too difficult, no desire too impossible. Faith is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It is the force that turns prayer into reality, vision into manifestation, hope into fulfillment. It requires no external validation, no tangible proof, only the steadfast conviction that what is unseen is already done. True prayer is not an act of desperation, nor is it a plea for something distant or uncertain. It is an act of conviction, a quiet but unwavering declaration that what is desired is already accomplished. Many approach prayer as beggars, pleading with God to change their circumstances, to intervene in their struggles, to grant them what they do not yet possess. But this is not true prayer. It is an admission of lack, a reinforcement of separation from the very thing they seek. To pray correctly is to stand in the awareness that what you seek is already yours. It is not an act of asking, but of knowing. Prayer is not a request sent up to a distant power in the hopes of a favorable response. It is the conscious alignment with the truth that all things are already given. The mistake most make is believing that they must convince God to act, that they must earn their blessings, that they must strive to be worthy of answered prayers. But the truth is, everything you desire is already prepared, already set in motion. The only thing required is for you to receive it. The key to effective prayer is to assume the state of having rather than wanting. When you pray for abundance, do not do so as one who is in lack. Pray as one who already walks in abundance. When you pray for healing, do not do so as one who is sick. Pray as one who is already whole. When you pray for peace, do not do so as one who is troubled. Pray as one who already dwells in perfect peace. This shift in consciousness is the difference between praying from a place of separation and praying from a place of union with divine power. Most people do not receive what they pray for because they contradict their prayers the moment they rise from them. They ask for healing but continue to identify with sickness. They ask for financial breakthrough but continue to dwell in fear of lack. They ask for love but continue to believe they are unworthy of it. Prayer is not merely words spoken in moments of need. It is a state of being, a persistent inner knowing that what is asked for is already fulfilled. When you pray, you must embody the feeling of your wish already granted. This is why true prayer is not about repetition, nor is it about length or eloquence. It is about conviction. A single prayer spoken in absolute faith is more powerful than 1,000 prayers spoken in doubt. The power of prayer is not in the words themselves, but in the belief that underlies them. You do not need to beg God to give you what is already yours. You simply need to align with the reality that it is done. Prayer is not about changing God's mind, it is about changing yours. It is about dissolving the illusions of limitation, fear, and unworthiness that block the manifestation of what is already available. It is about stepping into the awareness that divine power flows through you, that you are not separate from the blessings you seek, that there is no delay in the fulfillment of your desires, except the one created by your own doubts. Many people pray in frustration, wondering why their prayers go unanswered, not realizing that the answer has already been given. The issue is not that God is withholding anything, but that they have not yet received what is freely given. To receive, you must believe. To believe, you must assume. To assume, you must step into the feeling of already having. Prayer, then, is not a request. It is a shift in consciousness, an awakening to the truth that what you desire is already yours. Gratitude is the highest state of receiving, the invisible force that unlocks the floodgates of abundance. It is not a mere reaction to blessings already seen, but the cause of unseen blessings being drawn into reality. To give thanks is to affirm that what you seek is already yours, that the desires of your heart have already been fulfilled in the unseen before they take shape in the physical. Gratitude is the bridge between longing and manifestation, the silent yet powerful declaration that all things are working together for your good. Most people wait for circumstances to change before they express gratitude. They say, "I will be grateful when I receive the promotion, when the healing comes, when my prayers are answered." But this approach delays the very thing they seek. Gratitude must come first, before the evidence appears, before the breakthrough manifests. To give thanks in advance is to acknowledge that what is unseen is just as real as what is seen. It is an act of unwavering faith, a statement that says, "I trust that it is already done." Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to abundance. When you wake up and immediately give thanks, not just for what you already see, but for what is on its way, you align yourself with the energy of fulfillment. Instead of dwelling in what is missing, you dwell in the certainty of what is already provided. And as you continue to hold that state of thanksgiving, your external world begins to shift to match it. You cannot experience lack while living in a state of gratitude, because gratitude affirms the presence of abundance, not the absence of it. There is a divine law that whatever you appreciate, you increase. When you are grateful for financial provision, more flows to you. When you are grateful for health, your body responds with vitality. When you are grateful for love, relationships deepen and expand. The universe responds to the vibration you emit, and gratitude sends out the strongest signal of all, an unshakable certainty that you are blessed beyond measure. Many people believe that gratitude is only for the good moments, for answered prayers and obvious blessings. But true gratitude exists even in adversity. It is easy to give thanks when all is well, but the real power of gratitude is revealed when you can be thankful even in the face of difficulty. To say thank you before the storm clears, before the solution appears, is to declare dominion over circumstances. It is to affirm that no matter what appears before you, divine favor is already at work. Gratitude is not only about words, it is a state of being. It is not enough to say thank you while still feeling anxious, doubtful, or fearful. True gratitude requires you to step into the feeling of already possessing what you desire. If you are praying for financial breakthrough, do not wait until the money appears to be grateful. Give thanks now, as if the provision is already in your hands. If you are praying for healing, do not wait until the symptoms disappear. Give thanks now, as if your body is already restored. If you are praying for guidance, do not wait for clarity to come. Give thanks now, knowing that the answers are already within you. Gratitude dissolves resistance. Many people unknowingly block their blessings by focusing on what they lack, constantly reinforcing the idea that they are waiting for something to happen. But when you shift into gratitude, you release the need to strive, to force, to struggle. You enter into a flow where things unfold effortlessly, where solutions arise naturally, where doors open without resistance. Gratitude aligns you with divine timing, allowing miracles to unfold in ways beyond what you could have planned or controlled. Every moment presents an opportunity to choose gratitude. Whether in times of joy or challenge, you have the power to give thanks, to acknowledge that unseen forces are working in your favor, to trust that every step you take is leading you toward greater fulfillment. Gratitude is not just an emotional response, it is a creative force, a key that unlocks the miraculous, a way of living that turns the ordinary into the extraordinary. When you wake up each morning, you stand at the threshold of infinite possibilities. The course of your day, the unfolding of your dreams, and the manifestation of your deepest desires are not determined by circumstances, but by your inner state. To live victoriously, you must allow God to lead your day, not through struggle, not through pleading, but through faith, assumption, and gratitude. Imagination creates reality, shaping the world around you according to the images you persistently hold in your mind. By assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you collapse the distance between longing and possession. When you live from the end, when you walk in the conviction that what you seek is already yours, life responds accordingly. Faith is the bridge to manifestation, the unseen force that turns prayer into reality. But true prayer is not begging, it is believing. It is standing firm in the knowledge that all things are already given, that nothing is withheld from those who align with divine truth. Gratitude, then, is the key that unlocks miracles. When you give thanks in advance, before the evidence appears, you activate the spiritual law of abundance. You shift from waiting to receiving, from striving to flowing, from doubt to certainty. Every challenge becomes an opportunity, every obstacle a stepping stone, every moment a chance to reaffirm that you are divinely guided and infinitely blessed. Let each day begin with this awareness. Let your thoughts, feelings, and actions align with the reality you wish to create. Walk in faith. Assume the fulfillment of your desires and give thanks as if it is already done, or indeed it is already done. Per Bottle.